Imigrantes italianos
italiano.
aqui.
Italiano?
Italiano.
Alemão,
Nem
alemão.
falam italiano.
Quanto por cento aproximadamente é italiano?
Aqui? Aqui
Ah, é tudo misturado agora.
tá misturado, mas dá mais de. Pra mim, dá mais de 80% de italiano.
80?
Imigrante, é.
Oh, é muito.
A metade das pessoas que estão aqui ainda falam italiano. Tu vai aqui,
Ok.
esse daqui, que mora aqui, tudo gente que sabe falar italiano.
I'm in Nova Trento, which is a town in Brazil with a very large Italian population. The guy that I just talked to told me that it is about 80%, which is a lot. And many of those people also speak Italian at home and sometimes also at their work.
O meu avô, ele tinha registro austríaco, mas morava lá na divisa de Trento. Então ele falava o austríaco e falava o italiano. O italiano trentino.
Sim.
Aí ele veio pra cá, nós aprendemos tudo italiano, ele não ensinou nós austríaco. Na verdade, lá onde é Trento hoje pertenceu à Áustria, né? A Itália tirou da Áustria na Primeira Guerra Mundial. E aí a maioria era austríaco que morava lá. Austríaco. Nós então viemos pra cá, aqui tem descendente de austríaco, mas falam tudo
Austríacos.
italiano.
Ela
Minha filha?
fala italiano também?
Vamos ensinando.
Não,
né?
ela-
Ah,
eu tô
já
tentando
estamos falando com ela italiano,
ensinar.
para ela aprender também.
Aprender também.
Eu falo dialeto trentino. né?
Sim.
Ele fala? Tá vendo?
Na parada ele me ensinou.
Sim, ele disse também que ele fala. They don't speak standard Italian, they speak the Trentonian dialect of Italian. The region of Trentino in Italy used to be part of the Austrian Empire, and during that time a lot of people moved here. And here we have a nice church. I don't know how Italian the church is. It looks quite Brazilian in many ways, but it's also open. They're doing some type of religious ceremony or some other type of ceremony. I asked where I could get the best authentic real Italian pizzas and not Brazilian pizzas. And the guy that I asked it to, that spoke Italian himself and was an Italian descendant of Italian immigrants, he told me to go here. So that's where we are.
A little bit of a Brazilian taste in it.
Yeah. But it's like in the United States you also have pizza,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as Italian pizza.
I think nowhere is the same as Italian pizza.
Huh?
I think no place is like.
No, but I
exactly
mean
the
if
same,
you
but,
get pizza in the Netherlands or in Germany, generally the owner will be Italian.
Oh, okay. The people from here that are descended from Trentinos can't get their Italian citizenship anymore.
No?
No, because
Oh.
my dad was one of the last ones that got his Italian citizenship.
Yeah.
But from a time ago, I think like 5 years maybe, they stopped the citizenships for the Trentinos, because at the time that we came here, my ancestors came in here, they were still Austrians. They were already Italian.
So does that mean that you have a right to Austrian citizenship?
I have no idea. I
mean,
never
that would
tried.
be odd.
That would be odd. I don't think so. Maybe not. But like, for example, my mom is also Italian, because the people around here are all Italian. And my mom, her
Great.
great man. I think I'm like 5th generation in here. If
Yeah.
I'm
And are you full Italian or a mix of?
from my dad and my mom, yes.
Yeah, that's
They're
very-
both from very like old generation that came in here.
Yeah.
Because mostly in the south of Brazil, it is very industrialized now, but a while ago it wasn't. So
It was
people
really
here-
agricultural.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was very agricultural. Like my mom's dad, my grandpa from my mother's side had a fazenda farm, and my dad my grandpa from my dad's side was a butcher, and they lived in here their entire lives.
Yeah.
So when they immigrated in here, kind of like to colonize in here,
Yeah.
they were given a piece of land, and that piece of land was given to their children and their children and their children. And I live in the piece of land that my ancestors lived when they come in here.
Okay. Okay, I got my pizza Dragocano. I'm not sure what the name was. It's really good. It's pepperoni. Pepperoni is actually pepperoni that makes it more spicy than normal salami, with different cheeses, and I really like it. And it's a small size that I may be able to finish, unlike the big ones. About $10 for a small pizza. That's really good and authentically Italian. Right here we have a museum of Italian immigration, but it's closed right now because it's Monday, which doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what it is. It's closed the first 3 days of the week, and we'll go and visit another one. Because we are in a region that was heavily settled by Italians, there is a lot of wine being made. And here we have a little fountain, and I think there's a bunch of them because I was planning to go to another one, but a little fountain with what I think is just water with coloring in it, but I'm not sure because it has more of a wine or grape juice smell than I expected. Let's see. Yeah, it's just water. But I mean, I probably shouldn't be drinking it, but which I'm not going to do. But I put my mouth on it, and there's a little shed in the same style that looks. I mean, how Italian doesn't even look, but you get what I mean. And there, you see an old American school bus. I don't think those are common here. I don't think they ever use them here. These aren't old buildings; they're all pretty modern, but they're still heavily inspired by Italian architecture and regional Italian architecture, or just wine barrels to look like it. And here we have more colored water to make it look like wine. It's just so funny. It must be like circulating around. More fountains with fake wine. Here one, there one. And here they sell some wine. I think most of them do. Oi, bom dia. Tudo bem? This is the church that everyone told me to visit. And I'm sure it's closed. It's a Monday in the morning. But it's quite a modern Brazilian looking church. And not really the old kind of church that I prefer to visit. This is Museu Colonial Homenagem aos Imigrantes Italianos. This is a colonial museum for Italian immigrants. And it looks like it's actually open or just open all the time. No, I think it's open because there's lights on and so on. Here we have some machines that used to be used for the making of wine, crushing the grapes and all sorts of different things of that sort. They used to use a water wheel, like you see there, which is also very common with the Germans in this region. They also used to use water wheels because there's a lot of water here and a lot of streams for many of the things they manufactured. And the water is still flowing through, but the wheel is not turning. Here we have some more old scales, old wagons that were used by the Italian immigrants here, that were made by the Italian immigrants here, their traditional way of life. There we have a little church, and here we have an old Italian house, or a replication of it rather. Here a little bedroom, a little wooden house like they would have been built in the very beginning, and some cutlery, some sewing machines just like some of the German houses. Another bedroom, and here the fireplace, a little bit different design, a design that probably would have been more common among Italians compared to the German one, but they're not too different of course. And here there's a little tray to leave some stuff outside, and the dinner table with a mock-up cheese. A little pizza oven outside where they would have made their Italian pizzas. An old local church from 1912 where the doors are open, so we will take a little look. This weekend they'll have a festivity about Italian food and Italian culture and all kinds of Italian things. And that might be why there's even more Italian flags and stuff than normal. And here we have a carriage. This is one of the only restaurants that are open. There's two that are open. No, is it not? A gondola in the Brazilian town of New Venice. Casa do Chico is the only restaurant open in town. One other one actually, but this one is the best apparently. And we've got a few people waiting to get in. A guy is sitting over there, a guy walking around there, and two guys sitting there. So yeah. Here we have some old Venetian clothing. And then I don't mean this clothing that was normally worn day to day, but it's what rich people would wear on special occasions, or always, I'm not sure, but the average, less affluent Venetian certainly didn't wear this. Carlos Gorini, that I believe is the first resident of this town. So I got a bunch of different dishes at the same time, where I'll be able to try everything and eat everything. And it will mostly be pasta and some random other things for about 14 bucks, which really isn't bad. And this would be much for a restaurant here in Brazil, or like a little bit in the middle. And it's really, really fancy. We start with some soup and some bread that I can put Parmesan cheese on. The soup is kind of good, but I'm more excited for the pasta. Okay, now we have a bunch of things. Pasta, different types of pasta. Simple, but good. This is a fried Brazilian dish it's kind of like fries, but from a different fruit or vegetable or something of that sort. The chicken was good. And here we have spaghetti with Parmesan and just olive oil. This is what the Romans would have been able to eat, and any Italian before the colonization and discovery of the Latin Americas and their fruits like tomatoes, which normal pasta is made of. So I'm not sure how this translates exactly, so I'm not sure which it is on the menu, but it's a kind of salad, supposed to be a kind of salad. Okay, I was a little bit confused, but I had the chicken earlier and now this is swine ribs. Here you have two statues of clothing that Venetians would wear with certain festivities, but it's more specifically traditionally Venetian instead of broadly Italian. This is a Italian Venetian bus stop, as you see all throughout the town, and they have quite a nice design with multiple dimensions, wood and stone and a tile roof. It looks very nice. And this is the gate for when you enter the city, with a flag of the state, Santa Catarina, a Brazilian flag, an Italian flag, and then a flag of the city, Nova Veneza. And it has two cauldrons, two big pots on both sides, and it has a very Roman Venetian style or Roman Italian style. And I think it looks quite nice, nicer than a lot of the more simple entrances that they have in cities here. And it has the Venetian lion with wings at the top in the middle. This is the beautiful local church. Here is a church tower, also with the Venetian lion with wings, which is the symbol of Venice. Here the church is open. It looks much more like an Italian church than the traditional Brazilian ones. It is more flat at the roof and more wide with these two wings on both sides. And the murals in the ceiling are also a little different than they are often in Brazil, but more like the Italians used to do it. It's very beautiful. Also here they have all these Italian colors of the Italian flag as decoration. And here is the Museum of Italian Immigration, which has just opened. Okay. So, are you from here or are you from a different city?
No, I'm from here, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And do you speak Italian?
I speak Italian, you speak Italian as well?
I don't speak Italian. But the people that speak Italian, do they speak Italian from Italy or do they speak Venetian Italian?
Yeah, I
Dialect?
speak Venetian. They all speak more dialect. The younger is like Italian, is like
From
the,
Italy.
yeah, from Venezia, from Bologna, like this, yes.
Okay. So you speak more, what do you speak more? The old dialect?
No, I speak is better the
Modern Italian. Here we have a religious memorial of some sort. Gabriel. Here, this looks also very Italian. Maybe it will become a shop or something of that sort. It looks nice. The bricks combined with the old stones. It looks very nice. I just want to see the monument, but there's all these tents being built for next weekend. Let's see. All these tents, really big tents actually. Italian food. Oh, here the music, Jesus. That's going to be a massive gathering. Italian flags. And here we have another monument to Italian immigration. The 120th anniversary And that's a really high tower. With at the top the flag of the city. That is hard to see right now. Okay. So what is this building? Palazzo delle... It looks Italian and luxurious. Palazzo delle Aquatic something. We have a nice pond here. The water's turned off. Ooh. Here it must be like a theater.
Tô arrumando que eles vão fazer o stand aqui na festa.
Muitas pessoas aqui falam italiano.
É, falo. Eu entendo, mas eu não falo.
Você não fala?
Não falo, mas entendo.
Eu não falo holandês. Here, a picture of Venice with two statues with the old costumes, and there, in the distance, they're setting up more statues. Italian decoration everywhere. Lovely time to visit. Today the town square in daylight instead of darkness. Some decorations with tree and the roofed bit over here. Oh, now the water wheel's on. And they're doing something with the flag. So the water wheel's on, probably just on a motor with a water pump. Well, definitely. The hat that guy is wearing there, those hats are very common in this region. Que ela está fazendo? Não sei. Okay, so during daytime you can enter the gondola. And I've never been in a gondola before, so this will be the first time. I think this one came from Italy actually. And it actually floats. It moves. Okay. So these can move. And that's tied down. And here there's like a little eagle walking around. It can't go anywhere, it's just for photos, but it's pretty cool. There's the pedal. You have these cushions, you can sit here and take your Instagram pictures. This gondola was donated by Italy at some point to the city for its Italian immigrants. I think they're putting in new plaques to update the numbering or to have better colors that have worn away. Porque com novos números, com os colores melhor. Ou é escrito por quê?
Escrita. Falta. É isso. A letra, falta a letra.
Ou falta a letra?
Sim.
Oh.
Esta, aquela lá, é original
Okay.
dessa.
Deixa eu novo. Ok.
Ela,
Qual nome é falta?
no último, questo lá é.
Mas você parar aqui?
Sim,
Falou italiano?
sim.
Qual tipo de italiano? Italiano
Não.
da Itália ou mais Veneti para...
Itália mais o padrão, não regional.
Regional.
Não, regional não. Só o padrão da Itália.
Itália,
Isso.
não. Ok, eu entendo. Muito bom.
Porque
Obrigado.
senão, se for padrão, né, tem que ser dialeto vêneto.
A lot of stores have the same decoration here. They sell shampoo products and other scented things. It smells very good. They have like this thing spewing out scent, but it smells good. Você tem coisas principalmente italiano aqui?
Para nós, né, os cavaquinhos são mais coisas de italiano mesmo,
Isso.
ó. A gente chama de cavaquinho. Esse aqui, ó,
Mas isso é normal ou com outras coisas?
massa com gotinhas de chocolate.
Oh, ok. Você fala o italiano ou não?
Tutte sbagliato.
Não muito. Só um pouco. Little gondolas, flower pots, tiny mugs. Here we have Casa de Pedra, which is a Venetian restaurant, an old Venetian house from an old Venetian family. It's closed right now, so we can't enter, which is sad. Well, the lock is just hanging in there. As you can see, there's two old stone buildings that are very similar to many others that Italian immigrants built back in the day. And here we have a gate that might be a little bit more new, especially the metal. but in the same style. And we're going to visit some other towns in the most southern region of Brazil, because right now we are in Santa Catarina, and we will go to Rio Grande do Sul, which is the most southern region, which has been experiencing a lot of floods about a month ago, which was devastated the entire state, and most of it at least economically, but for many also in many other ways. So we will see how easy it will be to get there and what we will be able to visit, because some places may be affected by the floods. But there are houses like these also in Rio Grande do Sul. No wonder, but the Italian chocolate waffle tastes like waffle with chocolate, but it's good. The cavaquinho doce, I got the variant with sugar on it. It's good also, just like fried dough with sugar. Here we have arrived on a street with a lot of houses with Italian history, and this is one of them. This one has been turned into a bar. It's closed right now, but as you can see, it's made of stone. It's a nice house. Here, there's a few houses that were built by Italians, and this old building is one of them with the water wheel. Water is incredibly high right now, and it usually isn't this high. It certainly isn't. And quite a strong current, a lot of dirt that it brings with it. And that's a restaurant. And here you have, I don't know if it's like a museum, but it seems like it's closed. I'll go ask if they know. Muitas chuvas.
Muita chuva.
Eu quero visitar lá, mas isso parecer que isso vai fechar.
Sim, tá aberto. É só ir na loja e comprar o ingresso. É só ir na loja, atravessando a rua, e comprar o ingresso.
Oi. Eu quero visitar lá, outro lado de rua, o presídio antigo.
Sim. Ali é visita guiada e a cada meia hora tem uma entrada. Tu me entende?
Não.
Não.
Entendi.
Eu tô sozinha aqui, eu não consigo ir pra lá.
Vou te perguntar uma coisa. Não falo italiano, mas você fala italiano?
Eu falo italiano.
Muito interessante. Mas... Acesso à Casa de Pedra. Here you have a cobblestone path to a stone house that was built by Italian immigrants. And I don't know if there's anything... Oh. Here, up the hill, you see some brick houses that were built in an Italian style by Italian immigrants. We have an Italian building made of stone that looks like it came straight out of Italy, which in a sense it did, because that's where the people that built it came from. It's a restaurant right now, but it's closed, so I'm not going to be able to eat here or visit, but it's very interesting to see how it's just like so many buildings in Italy with a similar style, the same as they would have made it there and as they did. Here we have an axle with two wheels and here we have a tree that you can take cover under, because that's what I saw a lot of pictures of. Big rocks from the local area just fitting together. This is the more modern part of where you would have been sitting, but this is the original house and the original building. They have a little wooden balcony with a nice pattern in it. Here we have a different restaurant that's also closed, as you see with the shutters. And there's a dog across the street really barking at me. This building was constructed with a similar style with the stones of the area, and so is the little terrace around here. And they have wooden beams around the windows with shutters for the windows, wooden shutters. Really all there is to see. And at the back there's a bit of a newer addition to the building. But this is the original part. You can also see part of the metal holding stuff together, like anchors that are probably holding the second floor. Here, because we're in a wine region, you see a lot of vineyards. And in this building, I just saw a bunch of wooden barrels. And we see some distillery machines. It looks like they're making wine here. Here around us is all vineyards, because we're in wine country right now, which is partly because of the Italian immigrants that they mainly produce grapes here to make wine. It's the early morning, and right now we are in the historic center of Antônio. Here, on the other side of the street, we see the City Hall building, which uses a very old building. And here next to it, there's another building made of wood in the same style as all the other ones. It seems not in great shape. Here it looks like a little office for the organization that lists old buildings. And there we see another house, wooden house in the same style. And there a white one a little further. And here one on the corner with a color that I wouldn't know how to describe, a kind of light, very light bluish gray. And here there's like a greenish gray. Here on the little bus stop, or rather taxi stop, it says PM Antônio Prado. You see a lot of people with hats in this part of the country. It's quite funny. I think it looks nice. And this yellow historic building is a museum about Italian immigration. Casa da Neni. Oi, eu preciso entrar.
Do turismo?
Sim,
Tu és da onde?
Holanda, holandês.
Ah, legal, tem um amigo
Sim.
lá, entra.
Aqui?
Aqui vem bastante gente de fora, só que com muita chuva deu uma baixada.
Sim, muitas chuvas.
Muitas chuvas.
Muitas. Oh, horrível. Aqui tem muitas pessoas que falam italiano.
Bastante.
Você fala italiano?
Não muito bem, entendo mais do que falo.
Ah, então é mais fácil, né?
É.
So this is a bread oven?
Vai me pedindo, aqui é mais a cozinha italiana, né?
Sim.
Que toda a história está contada pela casa onde o museólogo fez, aqui seria a sala de jantar deles. Aqui tem para fazer massa para, entendeu? Passam a massa por aqui, rodam e depois jogam ali dentro e vão...
Dentro?
Dentro e vão, ó.
Ok.
E vão fazendo, aí aqui tem uns furinhos e vai saindo a massa.
Para espaguete.
Isto, espaguete. Para nós é massa.
So with this thing you can make spaghetti. Este perecível é principalmente uma casa.
Uma casa.
Para esta época, isso é uma casa.
Era uma
relativamente grande.
Enorme, eles eram, ó.
So all the red buildings.
Se tu
are the historic
ficares...
ones. Mas este perecível é aqui.
Essa casa é aqui do lado.
Ah, ok.
Eu tenho todas elas. Esses móveis é todos da casa.
Ok.
Os balcões, tudo era da casa.
Cash register.
Isso aqui é mais usado, foi usado mais em mercados.
Mercado, sim.
E aqui era o que eles trazeram, o que vinha da Itália, entendeste? Aqui são as 48 edificações.
Mas a maioria é para madeira.
É tudo madeira.
Tudo madeira.
Uma tipografia, secador de fotos, barbeiro. E aqui é onde os italianos faziam os lambrequins. Que os lambrequins são o quê? O que adornam as casas. Se tu reparaste.
Yeah. Ele faz o
contorno da casa. Sim. É os lambrequins.
Okay, this is how they made the contours of the house. Like a telephone box to connect the different telephone lines.
Então eles pediam um número tal e ela passava o número para casa.
Entendi. Okay.
Bem antigo isso. Para a tua região. No chão aqui de Antônio Prado foi colocado tudo terra.
Ah, só terra.
Para fazer a época. Esse filme concorreu ao Oscar.
Mas qual época são as fotos?
As fotos são 1992, 96. Onde foi filmado aqui, né? Mas concorreu a... Olha...
Yeah.
Fazendo filme.
So they were making films here because it looks so old.
Esse filme concorreu ao Oscar de filme estrangeiro.
Qual é o nome para um filme?
O Quatrilho.
Quatrilho.
Ele é legalzinho, ele é curtinho, mas ele é... Pra época ele foi muito show. Porque aqui é calçamento, eles tiveram que botar terra. Para mostrar a época onde foi filmado.
So they returned it to dirt to make it look like how it used to be for the film. It's interesting, a lot of people here still use horses to get around. Just maybe more for fun, not their only transport, but... Mas tem pessoas que moram em algumas casas ou cada é para...
Não, tem pessoas que moram ainda.
Sim?
Agora virou mais comércio embaixo, entendeste?
Sim.
Mas tem algumas pessoas que ainda moram.
Sim.
Só que é muita umidade, né? Tá muita chuva. Mas a casa, esses móveis, todos são da casa.
Sim, ok. So the cupboards and everything are original from the house. Como rádio, televisão. Up the stairs.
Aqui são objetos que vieram da Itália, nos navios. Esses são os baús que vieram quando os italianos chegaram.
Okay, so the things that they brought in crates from Italy.
Olha como é que era, bem rústico, né? Um quarto da época deles,
Sim.
entendeste? Simplesinho.
A bed, a little bed for children. To iron the
O
clothes.
ferro era com brasa dentro.
This one is with coal inside again.
Muito obrigada, mas eu não queria viver na serra. Aqui é mais mais o vinho, como era feito o vinho.
Vinho. Oh,
Vinho.
okay.
Aqui
This
é a
is for
parte
making
do
wine.
vinho. Isso aqui é mais a costura da época.
Here's some clothes of the time. So military
E
uniform.
militar.
School bags. Aqui para crianças
Aqui para as crianças.
a gun for little children.
É isso aí.
Yeah, a little driving card.
Quando não tinha sino, eles tocavam isso aqui, ó.
Oh, isso é para música.
Chamar o povo para a igreja. Tu abres aqui e vai lá em cima. Só que, ó, olha como é que é a escada.
You can see the wood structure here. More permanent though than the German ones. Okay, so here they deposit like a lot of old materials that they're not using. Oh, tem muitos mais perecíveis pequenos.
Sim.
Mas isso é original? Or?
Original.
Okay, so the sidewalk is original, but
original.
this used to be dirt. All dirt.
Foi um prazer te conhecer.
Sim.
Volte sempre. Vou te aguardar, Lois.
So there's a lot of such houses made of wood by Italian immigrants in this town, all throughout the town. There you see one kind of in pink. And here, this one, also kind of in pink. Here, somewhere on the side of the road in some random little tiny town, I find a church that's also made in a similar style of wood. A little church where here is a church building, an old wooden building, the cross on the roof. But here on the side we have the bell tower, but it's not connected to the building. It's completely separate. We're here up on a mountain in Serafina, Corrêa. Here you have some small little chapels, and here the local small Christ the Redeemer statue, a tiny one. The local Christ the Redeemer. His face looks a little weird compared to I think the normal one looks a little better. But I mean, it's in their image. We don't know what he really looked like. So, yeah. Here we have one of the city's main attractions, and it doesn't seem in the best state. So, is there still a shop upstairs? I think there is. It must have been a shop of some sort, but now it's all boarded up. And it looks like it's been damaged by the floods maybe. The other buildings do seem fine. And it seems like there's a few of them. That's the first little fake castle. And this is the second such building, but it's not like a castle, it's more like a Renaissance looking building or something. I don't know what they have here, but probably also some type of, let's see. Yeah, it's all closed. So I'm not sure what they have here. It looks like a government building. It's a city government building. And then here we have another building that looks like a castle. And this is the one that you see in all the pictures. So silly. It's just like, it's too blocky to be like a proper real castle, but have the wooden doors and like the door that shape. And they have air conditioning in their castle. And it says something Heineken, open your world. And here it says you have a bunch of shields, family shields or something of that sort. Probably of the people that settled here. Here you have a big metal sculpture of some people and a horse. And you have the flag of the state, Rio Grande do Sul, the country Brazil, and probably the city flag. And it's something in remembrance of Italian immigration, like a lot of other things that we have seen. And there we have another building that's Italian inspired. Like several buildings here are, but most of the authentic old ones are made of wood, and they're very much like the buildings that you saw in Antônio Prado. And this looks like a Roman building or Renaissance, like fake Roman building, because there's a lot of that too, but the Roman style with the columns.
O prédio?
Prédio.
É italiano?
Sim.
Tu é italiano?
É o sul-holandês, mas ele não falou italiano, mas muitas pessoas aqui falam italiano.
Sim,
né?
eu também entendo italiano.
Você entende,
Sim.
mas não fala? Oh.
Parlo.
Oh, muito bom. Muito bom.
Pouquinho. Parlo um pouquinho, parlo pouco.
Pouco, claro. Mas você é descendente
Sim, sou descendente italiano.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau.
And here you have a tiny little fake Colosseum, and they're all in one line. That must probably be because this part of land was probably government owned, but still in the middle of the city. So when they wanted to build these buildings to remember Italian history, they made them here on top of the stream because they didn't have another place. I think inside it's just like a normal building. It just looks silly on the outside. And I do say silly because it doesn't look like a real Colosseum, that's sure. Here you have like a little reception. I don't know what they do here. This is Prefeitura Municipal de Serafina, Corrêa, Estado de Rio Grande do Sul, o Colosseu Centro Municipal de Cultura. Okay, so it's like a cultural administration building from the government. I don't know if you could go to the roof, but it looks funny, but it's... For me, these buildings with no true historical significance, recently built in remembrance of Italian history or history from whatever country, it's not the same as something authentic that the immigrants built when they came here. It's not something they needed. It's just a silly monument that's in the form of a building that they use for government stuff now. Here you have a random Germanic-looking building. Nice swimming pool. She is doing something. Oi, você mora aqui?
Sim.
Isso é um presídio histórico?
Você quer olhar, ver?
Sim.
Pode olhar, fica à vontade.
Pode?
Sim, pode vir.
Oh. Mas você é descendente de as pessoas italianas, as pessoas que construíram isso?
Isso.
Muito bom.
Tem bastante coisa antiga aqui embaixo.
Sim.
Abra aqui pra te ver. Só tem bagunça, tá? Tá tudo bagunçado, mas ó, tipo um porão antigo.
Isso é como uma agricultor?
Isso.
Ok, so it's like a farm. Oh. Eu falo italiano também.
Você?
Eu não.
Não?
Mas você?
Mais
Pouco.
ou menos, é.
Sim.
Em cima tem sobrado ainda. Eu não sei se você...
Sobrado?
É, que é outra parte, seria outro andar. Ao que você vê que tem duas janelinhas lá em cima, lá seria outro andar. Daí a casa teria três andares.
Okay, so front part is newer.
Ali em cima nós chamamos de sobrado. Não sei se você já ouviu falar. Que tipo ficaria 2 quartos e uma sala. Ali os antigos usavam bastante porque tinham bastante filhos, sabe? Daí eles faziam uma casa maior. Tipo aqui na cidade, na região, tu iria achar bastante casa ainda assim, antiga.
Isso é para você também?
Sim, isso aqui é parreiral de uva.
Para vinho?
É, isso aí.
Yeah.
Quantos anos tem a casa aqui?
The date that it was constructed.
E é o ano que ela foi construída.
Ok.
É, em 52.
Muito bom. Porque esta parte...
Essa parte aqui não tinha.
É novo,
É.
mas esta parte é original.
Isso, que seria dali pra lá.
Sim.
Deixa eu te mostrar aqui dentro, ó. Aqui é onde a gente fica. Tipo, tem a cozinha, aqui tem uma salinha, lá tem o banheiro. Aqui é onde a gente convive.
Ok.
Aqui daí tem os quartos. Tipo, tu vê que é mais antigo.
Sim, sim.
Aqui tem os móveis antigos. Eu
Ah.
não sei se tu já viu essas coisas.
Sim. Isso é sua família?
Aqui é ela, essa aqui é minha sogra.
Ah.
Esse aqui é o filho dela. E aqui é no casamento e o falecido marido dela.
Como você ia lá em cima?
Deixa eu
Okay,
ver
so there's stairs. For upstairs.
Ali seriam 2 quartos e aqui seria uma sala daí.
Ok.
É.
So here you have 2 more rooms. Isso é antigo também?
Também. Ali onde eles tinham os animais. Aqui tem um cavalo.
Sim.
Aqui é onde eles guardavam uma vez a comida dos animais que tinha.
Ok, so
Isso.
the whole corn goes in there and then you get with the
Daí
little...
fica assim.
Eu entendo.
É.
An old carriage? Like a plow?
É. Isso aqui. Aí.
Or horses?
Aqui era onde eles criavam porcos uma vez. Aí era tudo separado e tinha criação de porcos, animais aqui dentro.
Ah! So these used to be separated slots for like pigs and stuff.
Separado.
Yeah.
Ela é mansinha, pode mexer.
Pode ir.
Uhum. E ali tem umas galinhas daí.
Ah,
que a gente
chickens.
tem, faz ovos só para consumo.
Sim. Here from this side, like the lady said, here you have more historic buildings. I guess it's like two houses connected to each other, made in the same wood style and with the same pictures on the sides. And they have an orange tree. I think they're oranges. And here it extends further down than it did up. So it's closed. I don't think anyone lives here. It's a little bit in an old state. Windows boarded up and so on. But maybe you can see something. Here's like a farm area that they didn't live in. It was more like a shed. And here they have a little tower that I think is for water, or used to be. Here you can look under the structure. You can't look inside because it's all boarded up, and where it isn't, they just have the original covers. Is there a little bit more we can see here? Oh yeah, there is an entrance here and some flower decoration. Here, another old little house. All the blinds might be shut, but they do have a pickup truck sitting next to it, so probably it is being used and probably even lived in, or just used, I'm not sure. Around it is a lot of industry, this part, so I'm not sure. And here we have the city gate with little castle towers on the sides. And these city gates are very common in Brazil. They often show something famous about the city, or they show something about its history. And they might be less interesting in some other parts of the country. But in the south and even Sao Paulo, a lot of them do show the history of the place or where it came from. Fucking guy in a car. Here you see the three flags again of Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, and the city, Serafina, Corrêa. Bem-vindo a Serafina, Corrêa. Trying to visit a little chapel, walking to this path, because I think this is where it's supposed to be. But it looks different than what I was thinking about. Ah, there we go. That's what I was searching for. The little church. Here are some graves, I presume. And then here's the little church, which is also built like all those houses of Italian immigrants. It's probably closed though. Yeah, it's closed. They put in some new windows. Well, that's that then.